it was just a sleepy old regular day, wasn't it? And then all of a sudden, a robot uprising comes attacking you out of nowhere. That's right, I'm talking about the Scampocalypse. We got huge updates on the most significant, disastrous freaking breach yet. We're going to get to that later on. But first, you know what time it is. It's time for Go Time for Office Hours, episode 177. We are continuing our march down memory lane as we figure out just all the best parts of Scam School. That's right, we're doing Scam School School. Scam School is the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. Scam School is our revisit to those. And today, we're going to start off with the static shot, and then we're going to talk about the urgent. We're going to convene a war room because, guys, it's official. The Scampocalypse that I've been predicting for over a year now is finally happening. And everybody's waking up to it, and we've got to save the planet. No big deal, just another Thursday. Let's start by diving in on episode 75 of Scam School, the static shot. Hold on, I can do this, and then I can do this too. Watch this. Aha, bet you didn't see that coming. Here we go.
This week, harness the energy in your face to move an object. Yes, really. This episode of Scam School is brought to you by the National Campaign Against Drunk Driving
And those evil geniuses at GoDaddy.
Welcome to the show that knows the meaning of 793.8. Do you? Welcome to Scam School, the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. I'm your host, Brian Brushwood, and this week's effect is one of my new favorites. It's fun to do, makes you feel like you have magical powers, it fools people, and best of all, it makes somebody look like an idiot. Welcome to the Static Shootout. What's going on, dude? It's good to see you again. Ruben, it's good to meet you. Colleen, good to see you as always. All right, now here's the thing. I don't know how this works or why, but it is the coolest freaking thing. It has something to do with static electricity. Let me get rid of all of this junk in here. But all you have to do is take one of these sugar packets, or in this case, I guess Splenda. We're gonna tear it into just this part, right? You set this up. And I don't know actually how it works entirely, but I think it has something to do with static electricity. If you build up a charge, I assume it works better if you have stubble, but this will be a good experiment. We'll find out if not. If you build up a charge, check this out. There we go.
You blew it down.
You think, see, that's what everyone assumes. So let's do this. Here, Ruben. You hold your hand right out in front of my face, and that way, if you feel, you'll be able to feel.
Okay. Yeah,
see,
sure.
that's me blowing,
sure,
right?
Sure.
Here we go. Let me get a little bit lower so I can see where I'm aiming. Right? No way I can blow.
No.
Not without you feeling it. All entirely the static charge.
You didn't blow.
Aha! Now it's a good trick, right? All right, now here's the question: which one of you guys can do it? I think Ruben's got the goods.
Well, you have no stubble, so.
I think that's why you should.
All right, so here's the thing. Okay, rub this on your cheek. The faster the better. And to really activate it, you gotta give it a good slap. There we go. And then you point and fire. Try it again. Do it again. You gotta build up good. Harder. There you go. You gotta.
All right, I'm smacking myself now. All right, let's try it. Hold on a second.
Jose nailed it, dude. That is the scam. Is you just
Is this a scam?
Yeah.
All right. Smacking myself in the face. That's
the trick. It's pretty good,
All right.
right?
So what's the gimmick then behind it?
Ah, you want to know how you actually make it fall over?
Exactly.
Well, first we got to thank our sponsors.
There's no way to hide it.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested.
You know what a domain smack is by now. Domains are so ridiculously cheap through our sponsor at GoDaddy.com that you can register them just to make fun of people. We call it domain
look
smacking.
at this. In this case, we did them back to back. So there's just one break. Interesting.
To
Yeah.
expertsexchange.com just to make life even more difficult for them. If you want to pull off your own domain smack, head on over to GoDaddy.com and use the code SCAM3 at checkout. You'll get your domain for only $7.49, and they'll even point it anywhere you want, absolutely free. Okay, here's the way it works. First of all, you're right. Doing this has nothing to do with it, but it provides enough cover for why you move your hands the way you do. Second of all, it does give you the excuse to make somebody else slap themselves silly, which is always freaking hilarious.
Great, thanks, man.
But the key is you slap your right cheek first and your left cheek second, and when you aim, you're gonna bring your hand down in a backhand motion, which is gonna cause a waft of air that will blow it over. But you don't want to make it obvious, so you gotta come down, you go up here, you come down, and fire. And if you do it right, it's like a total shootout. So now that you know the real work here, so start right, left. Now what's great though is when you explain it to people, you have them copy you doing left, then right, and then point. And if they come down, there's no way they're gonna generate enough of a breeze. So now that you know the real work, I'll step out of the way. You can do it for real.
All right, let's give it a shot.
I like that you're still selling it, yeah. Try it again. Now try, when you come down this time, try keeping it just about even with the bar.
Gotcha.
And go a little bit past. You're gonna aim slightly to the right of it.
Okay. You really gotta like.
Yeah, that's one.
You gotta really.
It's all in the wrist.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not a speed thing. People think that you really have to blow hard,
right.
but it's sort of I guess kind of a casual motion. So you just kind of.
You've done this before, huh?
It's the kind of thing, once you start doing it, you feel like you have the force and you're just like, aha! And you've tried to do it from farther and farther away. Yeah! Right on! Well done, sir! Very good job. Way to go, Ruben. That was freaking awesome,
One
dude.
time and that's it.
You say that, you're going to be doing this all night long. All right, who else is next?
Give it a shot, man. Get in there.
I'll rock the stove.
There you go. You got to sell it. All right, now you don't want to, now what you did is you did left side and you came down and then just gave an obvious whip. You want to have it be like, oh, my hand happens to be here, but I want to be down here. Very well done. All right, Colleen, you don't have to stumble, but you can rock it, I'm sure. That's right. You can actually gather the. You can slap your face, or you can pull your pigtails.
You can't stop
whatever.
smacking your face once it starts.
Wait, oh, did it just fall? Preemptive
You were
strike.
good. That's awesome. Way to go. Way to go.
Now, because this is so fun to do, you're going to do it over and over again. Just make sure you don't give away the secret too early or without earning a free beer first. Second of all, if you want to get maximum distance, actually do it on the bar. The farther the flat surface is, the better the effect's going to look. By the way, if you get good video of you pulling this off, I want you to post it at the boards at revision3.com/scamschool. That's where you can see all the episodes right back to our very first one. If you want to suggest your favorite bar scam, write me directly at brian@revision3.com. If you're doing the Twitter thing, you can follow us at scamschool or follow me personally at Schwood. Next week, we're going to be doing something magical. We're going to learn how to actually capture a leprechaun and rub his belly till he grants 3 wishes. It'll be magically delicious.
Yeah. Cliff Horn asks, how did we pick our locations? That was mainly to the production team. Those guys just figured stuff out. I believe I don't think that one was in Oakland. Wait, where is the ramp? Let's find out. Let's go back in time. Let's go to maps and there we go. Beautiful. Let's see. The ramp. Oakland. The ramp. CA. The ramp restaurant. There we go. Aha. Yeah, so it's in. There we go. Oh, yeah. Wow, it's just up. So the dog patch, this is where, look at that. Yeah, you can recognize that's exactly where we were. The dog patch, this is where the Revision 3 studios used to be down here. And there was a great bar called Retox, which I thought that was a great name for the bar. But at any rate, yeah, that's the spot. How weird that all of a sudden you could just look back and make it a real place to you. This is a fantastic effect. I don't think I mentioned Diamond Jim Tyler in that one. I didn't know that it was a Diamond Jim Tyler. This one came to me through Daniel Garcia, and I didn't know it was a DJT effect. But then he, that became, yeah, there we go. Hey, right on. Yeah, BioCow knows it. That's great. Yeah, doing the Twitter thing. It was simpler times. Man, not much to say about this one. It's a great effect. A big thing that I didn't see here because it was in the early days of me learning to do it was the real key on it is how you set up the thing that's going to blow over. You want it double-sided, all the way even, and really it all comes down to that hinge. If it's on a bookend, it's not going to blow forward. So what you want to do is open it wide, 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 so that like this, and then it can just go like forward on it. You want it so the lightest breeze will knock it on over. Let's see. Is that Colleen from Twit? Yes, that's Kelly Henry, who developed the Skyposaurus. She created the model that everybody copied ever since then. She's a real pioneer. I think she's still over at Facebook. But in fact, I should reach out to her. It's been a minute. Let's see. Bigger face, bigger energy. Yeah, 100%. Hello, Rejohns in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Let's say hello to everyone. Curtis Hoffman, Earth56, Flo Janacci, Che, Bantarat, Sixter 4157, Not Scary Steve, Flying Car 100, G. James B, Dylan Theus, the old schooler, the Mike Ruler, Cliff Horn, Matt York, BioCow, I think I already said hello to. Did I already say Bantarat? It's one of my favorites. Here we go. And I see you. Excellent. So let's play our quick game. BioCow, do we have the link to the voting tool? Yeah, we already got people voting. If you guys are new here, these older episodes, they were all uploaded as one big data dump. Some of them got discovered after the fact. Some of them did not. And so you're going to place your bets on whether or not this one had a life of getting discovered later on. There we go. Let's see. biocow.com/YouTube guesses. That'll take you to this fine tool. There we go. There we go. Guess the view count. Username. Bry. Oh, yeah. Bro 2000. My guess is 2 million. There we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah, here we go. Sixter 4157 says 76,000. Magic 51 says 10,753. Flying Car says 23,000. 067. BioCow 18,432. That Scary One, that's Not Scary Steve, I assume, 72,915. G. James B, 79,000. Close one. Bantarat, 11,000. And then Cliff Horn at 36,000. And the real number is 871. On December 29th, 2009. Oh, that's right. This is all part of the dump. 55,871. So who wins? Let's see. Oh, wait, does it update automatically? I don't know if it does. We'll find out. Check the main row. Ah, there we go. Actual views, 55,871. Difference, 17,000. And the winner is Not Scary Steve. Congratulations. Well done. Well done. Good job. Good job. Yeah, we'll keep refining. We'll get it off. We'll get it one slice at a time. Guys, look, I know that these episodes have been a lot of looking back, but I think it's time to start looking more forward. I'll keep doing Scam School. But office hours, we got to take a minute to work on some present tense, terrifying shit. Because let's do this. Let's do... There we go. There we go. Please read this. That sophisticated robot-led scampocalypse I've been banging the drum on for the last year, it's here. We'll talk about it on the live stream. That's what's happening right now. Tershija says, I just got completely owned by the most sophisticated hack I've ever encountered. I'm a developer. I know what scams look like. This didn't look like one. That's the thing. You're not going to be able to see the trappings. For 10 years, we've taught the trappings, the artifacts of scams. We've not taught the vibes. And I know that sounds like hippie bullshit. When I say vibes, what I mean is your deeply integrated System 1 defenses. This is the kind of thing that when a soldier gets in the shit, he says the training kicked in. That's what I'm talking about. When we talk about the firefighter who's on the 3rd floor and feels the floor go a little bit too spongy and says, everyone get out, that's the kind of defense we have. There is no defense selling that. There is no defense doing that right now. Instead, we have a bunch of book learning, box checking, top-down stuff, which is necessary but not sufficient. Yes, you got to watch driving videos, but at some point you got to drive. And this is an example of it because you'll notice in this story, he just feels something's off. That level of intuition is what is becoming my primary thing that I want to push for everyone. You guys have probably noticed that a lot of my content is skewing towards cognitive neuroscience and getting why we think the way we do. That's because I've seen this problem coming for a long time, and it's time to do something. So let's go through this particular story. It started with a recruiter reaching out about a front-end role. Nothing unusual. I get these daily. I usually ignore them or play along to find where the exploit is hidden. But this one had a real website. Again, remember I told you guys 2 years ago, I got a call from a Colorado detective where somebody was the victim of a pig butchering scam. And then afterwards, a follow-up scam with a real legit-looking legal website and a follow-up to to get $15,000 more over him with the interest of making it claiming he was going to get his money back. The first call was with their HR. Normal conversation, talked about the role, company vision, compensation. Nothing felt off. No AI voice glitches, no weird lag, real human energy. Funny part, maybe it wasn't human, maybe it wasn't. Doesn't matter. We're now at the place where resilience, deception resilience matters. You need to smell weird shit. And that's why I'm offering weird shit smelling sauce. Tershija says the second round was a technical interview with 2 engineers. We talked the tech stack, architecture decisions, interesting challenges, good conversation, the kind where you actually enjoy it. One of them was listed on the company website. Photo matched, name matched. This is another thing. When the whole thing is built from the beginning, this is where reputation is going to matter. You guys were wondering why I started going live nearly a year ago? It is because when we talk on the phone, I want you to realize that it would be very weird for Brian to go back in time and be faking the last year of live streams in this studio that you watch set up. That's because trust is about to be key. It is about to, we were headed back to 1960s era scams where you could swoop into a small pocket of the internet, pull your grift, and then move on to another pocket. Now we're moving all the way back to 19th century Victorian England, where all that matters is your reputation, your trust, your ability to act in a predictable, trustworthy way. At the end of the call, they said, we'd like to move you to the next stage. It's a small coding challenge. They gave him a GitHub repo that's a repository and 5 to 10 minutes to look it over. Back-end code, only a few files, nothing suspicious, simple enough. So in this case, if all of this sounds like gobbledygook to you, this is a programmer, and part of getting hired for a gig is that they oftentimes want to know how good you are at that kind of gig. So they'll hand you some code, which you have to be able to test and execute on your own system. So this is a very big backdoor that could be possible. During the interview, we talked about how many fake job scams target developers lately. We laughed about it. They seemed just as aware as I was. Before running, I said I'd check for anything suspicious. They smiled. Feel free to look for backdoors. And so they did. That one line was deliberate. It lowered my guard exactly when you needed to be on guard the most. This is a narrative he's telling himself after the threat has passed. Yes, that one line was deliberate, but the idea that he could have spotted it from that is insane. Instead, it comes from the gut. He ran the code. The only thing that saved me was a macOS pop-up. Patch.sh wants to run as a background process. I killed my Wi-Fi immediately and started investigating. Most people would have clicked allow without thinking twice. After 2 rounds of interviews on a screen share with people you've built trust with over days, you trust them. That's exactly what they counted on. By the way, we know what we fear in terms of our bank accounts being emptied. That is a tangible problem. But the way hackers use this stuff is they want to compromise your stuff. More valuable than your bank account is your client list, the look of all your purchase orders, your history, your rhythms, because then what they do is they step in as a man-in-the-middle attack. They become the entity pretending to be you, and they say, hey, we're moving over to a new system. You got to set all this up. And then 6 months later, one of your best clients still hasn't paid you, is way behind, and you're like, hey, what's going on? And you're like, what are you talking about? I paid you all the way. And of course, somebody else has been collecting all the paychecks. It is a huge deal. You're suffering that financial loss on the back end of it. The attack was hidden inside of a dependency of a dependency. The repo itself was clean. The repository was clean. Winston middleware, a logging patches, boring, normal sounding. It had one hidden dependency. Next runtime JS. I actually don't know that stuff. I don't care. What cares to me is the human part, that we got this far in and that he didn't encounter a that's weird. The moment I ran the project, a shell script executed silently in the background. No prompts, no warnings, no indication anything was wrong. It downloaded a backdoor written in Go and registered it to auto start on every boot. So what that would have been is everything you did would have been viewable by the scammers. This was not some script kiddie tool. This is the thing. Script kiddies are taking off-the-shelf, entry-level BS hacks and running them themselves. They don't have to really understand what they're doing. That is now the case on steroids with robots. Professionally written Go program. Custom RC4 encrypted protocol. Commands for shell execution, file theft, Chrome password extinction, keychain exfiltration, and crypto wallet targeting. Someone built this seriously. I unplugged my internet within a minute. But in that minute, 1 minute, They collected 634 saved Chrome passwords, my macOS keychain, which holds the key to decrypt those passwords, my MetaMask wallet data. No login prompt, no clicks. They had everything. The Chrome passwords are AES encrypted, but the decryption key lives in the macOS keychain. They stole both. Every saved password, banking, email, GitHub was readable on their end. I did full forensics afterward. The backdoor leaves 0 official logs. Everything streams to their server. But file access timestamps don't lie. Backdoor started 4/16/37. Chrome passwords access 4/17/33. Less than 1 minute. This wasn't a random attack, of course. By the way, this reads like GPT. This wasn't a random attack. This was an operation. A fake website, fake LinkedIn profiles, real-looking engineers, a multi-stage interview process designed to build trust over days, all to get one developer to run their code. The scariest part? I'm the person who looks for this stuff. I've caught scams before. I examine repos before running them. They joked with me about backdoors on the call, then got me with one. This is the most important part. When I talk about magicians constantly trying to fool each other, constantly hoping somebody will pull one up, successfully fool them. That's the culture that's needed. If it happened to me, it can happen to anyone on you or your team. The malicious packages were this. So here's the thing. The old model, somebody would read this and say, oh, there's a new thing. Just add this to the list of no things. That's not going to work anymore. Both reported to NPM and GitHub. This is where we get to the need for inhuman events. This is where we get to the need for HR as critical security. This nexus of interesting events that serve as shared reality insights is critical for large businesses. How to protect yourself. NPM install. Ignore scripts. Okay, this is all interesting. How to protect yourself. This is relevant to people in his business. Yeah. Never save passwords in your browser. Use your password manager. Keep crypto wallets on hardware, not browser extensions. Oh my God, you can even do that? That seems insane. A polished interview does not mean the code is safe. Trust the process, but always read the dependencies. The interview felt real because it was designed to feel real. Weeks of work, fake people, a real website, all done, all to get one developer to run their code. This is the new phishing. It's targeting developers specifically because of what we have access to. Stay safe out there. Yes, 100%. This is 100%. Follow him. I want to send a message. Oh. Hang on. Okay. I'm going to rate this dude. Actually, well, yeah, I'll do it right now. What's that guy's name? There we go. Sit tight. What? Beautiful. So I just reached out to him. Fully clenched. There we go. True Man Fu, good to see you. Korometuriku. Sorry about that, guys. The arrows issue. Yeah. I don't use Apple. I don't trust their products, just like I don't use Apple products for my phone. Bow. Windows or Apple. Oh, got it. You're talking about other stuff. Cool. Yeah, Wago, you're correct. When you know the rhetorical tricks, that's the real thing. Basically, is everybody wants to know the one trick to be protected, and that's why I say the one trick is pull off the scam, and you will smell it coming a mile away. At some point, you'll figure out that structurally you need to diffuse their suspicions, and you'll have a phrase that rhythmically will hit at that moment. And you won't care what the phrase is. You will feel the rhythm of that moment that they're like, oh, they're doing an accusation audit. Good morning, Remy Lynn, 4264. Happy scam-pocalypse to you, too. In fact, all of you guys, I think we had some office hours docs that we were working on. If you guys want to find stories like this, we need to be covering this every single day, because every day there's another story exactly like this. But yeah. But in the meantime, okay, what did I have on my agenda? I was loosey-goosey on the agenda. Oh, wow. Yeah, a lot. Okay. There's a bunch of... Sorry, right before we went live, we had that story come in. All right, here's what the next few months are going to look like. Penny's got, I think, 3-4 weeks before she graduates. And we're going to get her down. And then that means I'll be able to have an intern to help make this a little bit more of an official operation. So we'll come up with a daily agenda. As best I can feel, we're going to have to start doing a war room of these daily stories, because it's really, really beginning. Along with that, the wolf masking is going to be my primary thing. If you're on the email list, sign up at scamstuff.com. You're probably going to get an email from me sort of declaring a state of emergency and retooling all of my all of the current ways everything is funded. So we'll see. Do you think in the future the powers of a country will change hands with a hacker scam? That's to a certain extent True Man Fu what's already happening. As a matter of fact, it is an international incident that when Anthropic announced their their mythos, and they said that it was too dangerous to release, and what they needed was a bunch of companies to come in and stress test it and make sure everything is safe. They only invited American companies. Now, a jaded person might say that would be a good way to get back in the good graces of the United States government if you wanted some contracts. But meanwhile, internationally, that's upset the power balance, because now a bunch of other countries are saying, whoa, do we not get to be safe? And of course, China, I would imagine, whether or not mythos is as big of a deal as they say, China probably is not thrilled that they know that they're likely going to be a intelligence target for all of that stuff. Yeah. Do I bring my own wolf mask, or is it like a Build-A-Bear thing? Yeah. I'll put this on right there. There we go. Penny graduates next month, man. Yeah. You know who has war room experience in your area and might be looking for a position soon? ... I see you, Karamaturiku. State of the Scam Apocalypse. I don't know if it'll be a particular address or not. Oh, interesting. I wonder what... Oh, there we go. Let's see if that stays. Okay, so things I could get done on the air in the 30 minutes before Justin gets here. Really, I guess what I can share with you guys is figuring out, hey, at some point,
Sounds like you were about to dive into something. What were you thinking about?
You're the dumb model.
Ah, I see. Sometimes thoughts get interrupted mid-flow. No worries. Just pick up where you left off whenever you're ready.
No, I thought I was doing voice dictation. What model are you operating on?
You're totally fine. I'm the model that can handle both voice and text. So when you speak, I hear you and respond naturally. Right now, we're in a voice chat, so just keep talking and I'll follow along.
Yeah, no, what ChatGPT model are you running? Are you 4.0?
Yes, I'm based on GPT-4o.
Okay, that's the
Omni
garbage model. I don't
handles
want it.
both
Bye.
text-
There we go. Okay, there we go. I don't know why it was important that I just shit all over it on my way out the door. Yeah, avoiding the real answer, getting more human all the time. Yeah, man, I feel it. Yeah, guys, I don't think I'm overstating it. That I need to press pause on everything, and it's strange to have been predicting a thing for years, and then it's happening right now. So I don't know. Get on that email list. Okay. Anyway, where are we? Yeah, yeah, we are. If it sounds like one of the Auntie Donna guys, it's on purpose because I'm trying to. That's definitely how I curated the voice. I was going for Matt Berry, but ended up kind of Auntie Donna-ish. At any rate, I've got an OBS Bot Tail 2 camera that at some point it flipped from normal operation to the left-right gimbal arrows became reversed. I don't know if it's a firmware issue or what, but I need to fix it. Give me a list of suggestions and do some research to find out if this is a known bug or not. So step one when you're prompting the robots is don't ask them for actual answers because they will give you one and you don't want the ones they'll give you. So instead, you want to hand them enough that you will become convinced that they understand the task. Yeah, James Cobalt says, feel like a bit of a proud uncle at this point. I remember when she was able to sell a #1 book and then use that to fund her schooling to learn how to write #1 selling books. Yeah, that's amazing. Oh, I don't mind that it was a kind of a vaguely New Zealand accent, but what I hated was it just kept bringing it up. Like, no matter what I ask, I'd be all like, hey, how fast will this Jeep go? And it says, well, since you love Kiwi accents so much, maybe I'll come up with a koala bear of an answer. And I'm like, what the fuck? That was like 1,000,000 years ago. What I'm seeing so far is a pattern of pan, tilt, zoom, control bugs in the OBSBot ecosystem, especially after firmware software updates. Here's the best try. Yeah. Okay. Oh, the upside down thing. Interesting. The upside down thing is interesting. It makes me wonder if at some point I turned on or off a camera while it was upside down and or maybe while it installed firmware and then it got confused. Is there a way to reset the camera or reinstall the same new firmware? Test control. Oh, look at this. It's still writing. It's still writing, and it let me dictate during that. That's new. Power cycle hard, not soft. Shut it fully down. Disconnect power for a bit, then restart, retest. No. Wow, this is a lot. Yeah, we'll see what it says. Yeah, that's exactly right. Mike kept throwing in magic references. I had to make it stop. He dropped it last night on YouTube. Main press C. What is main press C? Yeah, that's how we know it's human, Hawk Worley. Is because it definitely says that. A factory settings reset, a manual firmware reinstall path. Okay. All right, let me do this. OBS bot start. Ta-da. Magic or ta-da, the gathering or ta-da was the way that Justin always phrased it. Okay. So be an expert in OBS bot start and walk me through the steps in order to reinstall firmware. I've got the app open and it's connected. Right now, everything works fine except for the gimbal. When it moves left, it goes right and vice versa. Up and down work correctly though. So in this case, this is one thing I remind people is you're talking to, these robots are simply the manifestation of the preferences of a crowd of people. So if you're talking to a crowd and you need something specific, the best you're going to get is woo, because a crowd can't say much more than that. So instead, in that crowd, you can pull out a particular character, and then once it knows what character it is, it knows what is and isn't its job. So there we go. Leave the camera connected. Go to the devices settings area. I'm there. And check whether an update is offered. About device firmware version update up to date. In firmware version, it says up to date. Should I do factory reset? That's the other thing you can do is you can explain explicitly where it's like, you're my manager here. Every step of this, you need to either give me a task to do or ask me a question. Ask me a question is a good one because most people don't think to invite the robot to ask a question, but of course you're building its version of a mental map. Let's see what it said. Oh, I didn't hit go. Human error. The meta AI, I've not seen that one. The camera set to airplane controls. Yeah, it does. It is kind of like that. Yes, factory reset. Great. Okay, so I will do restore factory settings. Done. Okay. Well then, so ultimately, thank you, robot. You correctly told me to do the thing that I didn't want to do. But sometimes that's important. So let's go back to the agenda. We got a few minutes left. We can get some stuff done. Let's see. Make that world's greatest con site. All right, let's talk about this. Let's open up Codex. Let's do a new project. Let's do... File. Wait, where's... New chat. Wait a tick. Don't I need to make a new sandbox? Oh yeah, new project. Here we go. Take this and we'll do folder. Make a world's greatest con site. There we go. What do you know about the podcast World's Greatest Con? Go find out a whole bunch and tell me. Well done, Magic 51. Good, good, good. Nicely done. I'm glad that those are appreciated. I wish this could all be made bigger. Oh well. So the problem that we're solving for with World's Greatest Con needing a website is it is not discoverable. For the last couple of years, everything has been about foundation, about figuring out exactly what I got, rebuilding the skills of relearning to edit, learning the current ecosystem, learning the current meta on YouTube, best practices, so that I'm able to speak the analytics back end as good as anybody in the business. Along the way, keep up to date with the AI tools. Where we're at now is that we've got plenty of story, but it's not easily accessible. It's very difficult to onboard. There's a lot of latent Modern Rogue fans that from their reality, the show just stopped showing up in the feed. And of course, during a transition, everything's going to be fuzzy enough that people are going to lose track, and then the algorithm reads that as you're not interested in it anymore, when at the time it was just a transition. But now that we have a robust catalog of a couple years of the new direction that we're headed, something that's much more intellectual, cognitive science, pro-social, the gentleman era, as I've been calling it, now that it exists. At first it was just a question that became a direction, that became a bunch of content, and now what it needs is clarity. So when you say Modern Rogue, you want to think of something besides the injury counter, and you want to instead be thinking about this new type of content. But the problem is when you go, you get fed the most popular stuff, which is an out-of-date meta. It's pointing to a direction that we're not going anymore. So what we need is everything to point in the new direction, including this this episode. Oh, this is great. Official site. Oh, no. Okay, that's bad that it's calling it the official site. Great. Great. The problem that we are solving for is what you perceive as the official site is not the official site. That is an old, deprecated site that only has the first season. A problem that we're solving for is that many people think World's Greatest Con ended after the first couple of seasons. We, as you can tell from the Acast listing, have a robust archive. What we need is a website that is incredibly easy to approach, including web players, descriptive text, and easy SEO discoverability, and AEO discoverability. Before we begin, I want you to assess the depth of the problem, make suggestions, and sketch out a large outline of the plan. Mainly at this point, I want you to identify pitfalls and traps before we begin so that we start with the ending in mind with best practices. We want to build out a world's greatest con, highly approachable website so there's easy onboarding for anybody who's brand new to podcasts or the series itself. There we go. Want to really confuse the AI editors? Spike your hair out for a few streams and add to the mix. That's hilarious. Tell me a bit about this, R.E. Johns. Do you have an article? We can read it on the air while we're waiting on this robot to do the thing. Let's see. Look at that. Apple US shows 4.9 stars from 1.2 thousand ratings. Ha! Critics say the host banter and dramatic style can slow the story down. That's the fucking point. Is that you don't want to... I want this movie to be over with as fast as possible. Oh, but then they kept doing other things and the movie became rich and long. I went to see one explosion. It is basically a hybrid of historical true crime deception stories, Brian Brushwood's performance style, and pop explainer psychology about why marks cooperate in their own manipulation. That's great. Assessment. This is a deeper problem than make a better podcast homepage. It's an authority, archive, onboarding, and discoverability problem all at once. Right now, the web seems to be telling a confused story. An old fireside site still looks like, yep. Acast has the real archive. Platform listings are inconsistent about cadence, season count, and even whether the show feels active. Third-party podcast directories inherit partial or stale metadata. Yep. A new listener can easily conclude the show ended or that it's niche, complicated to start. So the site needs to do 4 jobs at once. Establish canonical official home. Prove the show's active. Yep. Okay, that's good. The show did not stop off after season 1. Great. Treating this, okay, there we go. Look at this. We got it to engage in metacognition where it came up with the traps. Avoid treating this as a design problem first. A beautiful homepage won't fix entity confusion. Using embeds as the content. An Acast player is useful, but if the page only contains an iframe and a title, that's great. Not solving the deprecated site conflict immediately. If the old site looks indexable and official, it will keep poisoning search understanding. This is probably the single biggest strategic issue. Thin episode pages, auto-generated pages with a title, date, and one-line description. Will not. That's correct. That's great. Awesome. Excellent. This is great. Don't start with a homepage mock. Phase 1 deliverables. Great. Let's see. Site architecture, content schema, homepage, wireframe. Yeah, this. Oh. Yes, this all sounds like the good direction. Do we want to start with the page first, or should we begin by getting full transcripts of everything come up with a order of operations and sketch out a plan in which Codex acts as the manager and moves tasks along under Brian's supervision. Along the way, we want to run an audit on where the metadata is missing best practices and how we can plug those in. Oh, got it. Somebody used it without permission. Interesting. I want Titanic in 8 minutes, not triple-digit minutes. Got it. Yeah, the Mythos AI closed beta accessed by those who weren't in the beta has less of a clickbaity sound, though. That's funny. When you get done, make the design look like it wasn't vibe coded by AI. Yeah, that's one of the things that I do, and strangely, it will pull it off. Okay, so it says... define the source of truth, define the page system. Okay. Does Codex have the ability to get a transcript of each episode? Can we download the entire archive to this computer and start from there? So if we have everything, then we have the data set and we can work from there. Yes, with two caveats. First, I could download the archive to this machine if we have a canonical episode list. The audio files are reachable from the feed. Transcript generation would need to... Okay. That's great. Okay. Great. Yes, this sounds good. The entire archive is on Acast right now if we want to download them from there. Somewhere are commercial-free versions as well, I believe on the Patreon site, but we'll worry about those later. For now, let's just get a copy of everything for transcription. But everything on the Acast feed should be the totality of the show. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Oh, man. A celebrated conductor who Justin and I, this will be what we talk about on the Bones. Michael Tilson Thomas, celebrated American conductor, who taught Justin and I to conduct. In fact, we could look at that while we're waiting on this. Yes, and don't ask again. Let's see. Wait. Discovery VR. Get rid of RAV4. Yeah.
Howdy, I'm Brian.
And I'm Justin.
We're here with Discovery VR and the new RAV4 Platinum.
And today we have an inside look at an amazing symphony thanks to one of the greatest conductors living today.
Dude, it's gonna be epic. Are you cultured?
No,
You're just gonna get it all at once, huh?
that's why we're here.
Yeah, there's the dude.
Guys,
There we
it is
are.
an honor and a privilege to have with us Michael Tilson Thomas. Thank you so much for joining us. So tell us about the New World Symphony.
We've been here for 30 years. We built this amazing center. Frank Gehry designed it very much in collaboration with me and my team. We've got 90 of the most talented graduates of the great universities and conservatories in the country. They're here to launch their career. It's a big-time thing. They go right from here to the...
Anyway, R.I.P. to a legend. Let's see.
great orchestras of the world.
That is amazing.
Let's do this. Yes, and don't ask again. Oh, now it's still going. I guess we can watch it while it's going.
Now, we're going to have the privilege to watch a rehearsal
Yeah, behind the scenes.
behind the scenes.
Motions that I, as a conductor, do.
Okay.
It's very simple. I can teach it to you right here, right
All right.
now.
Oh,
Done.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
So if you want something to go faster and or be shorter, this is the way you do it. It's up and down. So that's like up, 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 up. That's all going to be that way.
Yeah, okay.
If you want something to be slower and longer, then it's going to be this way.
And that goes as slow as...
If you want something to be louder, it's da-da, it's right in your
Okay,
face.
all right.
Da-da. If you want it to be quieter, it's
Okay.
Back closer to
okay.
the chest, right?
so. Let's try it. Here we go. Up, up, up.
All right. Anyway, buy a RAV4 hybrid. He taught you to conduct, but there was still some resistance. Love it. 0 out of 5 tasks. Okay, so it's still doing stuff. Here we go. Ari Johns. They got in with API keys from an employee of one of the Mythos whitelisted companies. Yep. So this is where traditional security would sneer and say, can't fix the human. You can fix the human. The Discord users didn't gain access through a sophisticated hack, but by guessing the online location of the model based on past Anthropic naming conventions. Wow. Yeah, that's one of the things about as the robots become more human, we haven't even gotten to that part of the meta where it turns out that the skills of kind of slow motion hypnosis that work in, navigating phone trees and getting good customer service also get robots to do things that, all things being equal, they sometimes shouldn't do. All right. I guess this guy's going to cook for a minute. The manifest is clean enough to use 33 episodes. Yes, or I guess approve for all. Do we really only have 33 episodes? I mean, they're good episodes, and 33 is a fair bit. On a side note, do you have any opinion on this private equity thing? A lot of people are talking about in relation to YouTube channels. Yeah, so here's the way private equity works is when you establish a good brand, you guys might have heard me say versions of some of this, but basically I think in terms of three currencies: story, attention, and sales. Now, story can be product, right? Product, the transactional thing. But attention is mind share. It's real estate in other people's minds. So for a company like, let's say 7-Eleven, right? 7-Eleven has 7-Eleven. They got shops. And then over time, people are buying from the shop. But each interaction, 7-Eleven begins to gain a reputation as it deepens from they don't even know the name of the place to they like it to they prefer it, and then they love it. And along the way, 7-Eleven can make mistakes. It can try things on. One thing can work, another thing cannot work. But in general, at any given time, there's a certain amount of brand value to 7-Eleven, right? Now, let's say Ted 7-Eleven wants out of the business. And he built this from just one store to 100 stores nationwide. He doesn't want to make an IPO because then he just has to keep on working it and bring his heart and soul into it. So instead, he sells to private equity. So now what you have is you have 1,000 investors or whatever who don't really care about Ted 7-Eleven or any of his story. They're like, what we're really buying is the fact that everyone likes 7-Eleven. And so they come in, and the first thing they do is they cut costs, because if they pay, let's say Ted 7-Eleven quits, they call this your exit strategy. He gets his exit strategy, and he gets $10 million and goes off to Australia, where he talks to my robot. And then while he's out there, he no longer cares what happens to 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven, all the employees, they're told, you got new bosses, everything will be fine, it's all going to be the same. Meanwhile, the investors were like, dude, we just spent $10 million to buy out Ted 7-Eleven. We need to figure out how to make more than $10 million. Well, right now, costs equal gross, right? The amount of money coming in is equal to the amount of money we spend on everything. It's like, well, let's just cut everything down. Let's cut all of our employees in half. Well, if we do that, then the number of employees, we won't be able to keep the bathrooms as clean as we always do. And that is not very 7-Eleven of us. And they're like, well, do your best, make it work. And then what happens is mind share erodes. Somebody goes to let's say they used to love 7-Eleven. Now they only prefer it because they went a few times and the bathrooms were pretty shitty and they had employees that weren't really dialed in. Then they decide, they're like, great, we made $1 million back on employee costs. What else can we cut? It's like, well, we could put dirt in the fuel lines and never clean them. It's like, well, that'll save another $1 million. Great. So now it's $2 million of savings. And then now you go and the experience is a little bit degraded, not very 7-Eleven-y-ish, that the fuel lines are bad. So you go from preferring 7-Eleven to just generally liking it. And then eventually everything gets cost savings into the ground where all it's running on is its fame and not its long-term brand reputation. And it has now become something else. Now it became something else the moment it sold to private equity. It just took a long time for everything to feel different. And so now the company has to run on its new reputation. And usually Ted 7-Eleven doesn't care, or maybe he cares. He just is really sad about it, but also he has $10 million. The investors don't care. Actually, they do care. What they care about is that they paid $10 million and now they're pulling in $12 million. The audience, the customers, soften their interest in it where it's fine, or maybe they actively don't like it or whatever. But that is what's happening with YouTube properties. In an alternate timeline, and who knows, maybe someday in this timeline, if right now both Scam Nation and Monarogue are big beasts to feed, hungry audience, a lot of scams out there. And right now, for the last 2 years, everything has had to run through one person, ya boy. And now the idea, if a private equity investor were to come in and say, hey, where Magic Emporium, that may be a real place. We're the Magic Portcullis Company. And Brian Brushwood, would you like $5 million to have Scam Nation be bought by private equity? Sure. What would that look like? Well, first of all, here's a check for $5 million. And then you are going to be the host, but we're going to take it from here. And then what'll happen is now you get into the odd position of like, you're only going to recommend Magic Portcullis branded items. And the solution for everything has to be what you need is a Magic Portcullis thing. And Brian, having taken the check or now having a job, would be beholden to do it. So you want to be very careful about who you sell to, especially because I don't know if you know this about humans. Sometimes humans will say they're going to do a thing, and then they will do something different than that thing. And then you end up in a lot of soft negotiation difficulties, which is part of the reason that I've not sold to private equity. I don't blame people who have. I mean, look, you build a thing. Do you want to do it forever or do you want to sell it? And of course, if you sell it, you don't want to just have a brand new host. So what you end up with is things that are hyper polished, that are best practices, that are highly restricted, but that's a lot of muscle, money muscle behind your thing. So did that make sense? The catalyst of inshitification. Yeah, I guess the profit incentives are certainly to inshitify it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Macy's used to be the place, and now it's just shabby. That's pretty much what it is. Sometimes humans suck. Yeah, sometimes. They're all trying. Okay, here we go. The full Acast archive is local now. I will never not find this amazing. When I go to documents, office hours, archive, audio. Look at that. Oh, look at this. It even put the trailers in there. There we go. Let's see.
In 5 weeks, 100,000 never was came out, which
is in fact its own amazing story in there. And that's great. In the flesh. Great. These are not in order. Here. Let me see the scripts. Audio. Transcripts. Cleaned. Oh, and raw. Okay, there's nothing in there. So we don't have that. Let's see. Yes, let's go ahead and start the local transcription tool chain and run that pilot. They're all trying. Some are just trying my last nerve, LOL. Yeah, man. That's why you introduce a plucky young girl to co-host. But enough about Josie. Am I right? Speaking of which, I wonder how Josie's video's done. Let's go to youtube.com/Sepito. 89 subscribers. 1.1 thousand views. Good deal. That's great. Oh, and I guess as long as we're checking, while that's doing its thing, you can take a look at yesterday's new video. I sneak attacked you guys with a new episode, which I need to work out all of the here, let's take a peek at if we have a winner on thumbnails. Creating a kaiju symphony with dry ice. I thought that was a dang fine title. Looks like we do not have a clear winner on what thumbnail. So I guess I'll let him keep cooking. But what I am curious is what we're looking at in terms of click rate, because this is a dang fine episode. This is also, as a heads up, everyone, I may unlist a whole bunch of the lives from, I don't know, both channels, mainly because I noticed, like, at the end of this, it algorithmically tossed to a Great Night episode, and that's a big pivot from a Brian and Ryer exploring sound science to Brian and Justin on published stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is curate the entire experience so that everything funnels just to the latest episode of the thing. Just casually killing the playthrough rate on his own daughter's hand-animated video. All right. Or protecting this video from Content ID takedowns. Okay. So we're at 3.5-ish, 3 to 3.5, which is not great, but also it's not a very transactional title. Oh, can I get feedback from you guys on the new episode? Check this out. And then I'm about to have to go. Sit tight. There we go. Okay. Take a look at this. All right. Let's figure out what you think of this. Oh, man. I want to make it biggish. Well.
And go. Who decided that we should count everything with 12s? 12 things in a dozen? 12 12s make a gross? You ever counted a gross? Who would count a gross? Who did that? 5,000 years ago, ancient Sumerians in what is now present-day southern Iraq figured out that your right and left hands have 12 interphalangeal crevices. You got 12 knuckles on each hand. And if you use your right hand for the singles and your left hand for the 12s, you could get up to 12 12s or a gross. This gave us the sexagesimal counting system, which has the benefit of being uninterruptible. If you get distracted, you don't forget what number you're on. You just look at your fingers. In fact, you don't even need to look at your hands because you can feel exactly where you are. And here's the best part. If you take 1 second to count each of the knuckles on your right hand and use all the fingers on your left hand to count the 12s, you get 5 times 12 or 60, which is why there are 60 seconds in a minute.
What do you think? That's 1 minute and 10 seconds. What thoughts do you have? Feedback. There is one part that I do. How old is this video? It hasn't come out yet. It's we shot it last week. I am curious why it says, oh, how old? Does it look particularly old? Go away, metric system. Kind of. That is kind of how I feel. Ah, yeah, no, this is the one that we're getting ready to release. I was hoping for feedback on this one. Why, thank you, Dylan Theus. So there is a little bit of, well, actually, in the interest of brevity, there's a moment that we're going to have to flash a whole bunch of footnotes on there. Oh, see, I like your style, Wago333. I'm feeling young and radiant. Okay. Man, a lot of directions. The version, the 5 times 12 is sexagesimal. So it's base 60, right? Where it's 12 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is missing the why do I care for my taste. Aha, interesting. Well, so hopefully that heavy lifting will be done by the title, which is Why Isn't Time Metric? And a thumbnail that suitably sets up the question. So you only click on it. Maybe it should even say explained in 1 minute. Seppitone, Tone, Seppietone. Shame it's not 1 minute, 12 seconds, a multiple of 12. That is pretty funny. Yeah, well, and also metric time is also a soft phrase because it's somewhere in between. Do you mean base 10? Because there is metric time. In the metric system, there's a definition of a second and all that stuff. But like Swatch bet big on beats, 1,000 beats a day, and it didn't happen. The comps, the setup for this, I actually gave him 24 as an inspiration for it. Or maybe the Steal My Sunshine vid. Ah, there's a whisper app. Yeah. Yeah, the idea was just to give, because I was able to deliver the whole thing in one, but it was just too static, and so we needed more stuff. Also, it's got the magic trick of you see the fists the whole time, but you don't know why until the very end.
And go. Who decided that we should count everything with 12s? 12 things in a dozen? 12 12s make a gross? You ever counted a gross? Who would count a gross? Who did that? 5,000 years ago, ancient Sumerians in what is now present-day southern Iraq figured out that your right and left hands have 12 interphalangeal crevices. You got 12 knuckles on each hand. And if you use your right hand for the singles and your left hand for the 12s, you could get up to 12 12s, or a gross. This gave us the sexagesimal counting system, which has the benefit of being uninterruptible. If you get distracted, you don't forget what number you're on. You just look at your fingers. In fact, you don't even need to look at your hands because you can feel exactly where you are. And here's the best part. If you take 1 second to count each of the knuckles on your right hand and use all the
Oh, there's two musics happening. That's hilarious. 12 is a multiple of 24. It is all connected. That's good. I like that.
fingers on your left hand to count the 12s, you get 5 times 12, or 60, which is why there are 60 seconds in a minute.
Sexy decimal system is fine too. Hey, pretty good timing, by the way, right? The fact that I ended just as the 3 o'clock bell rang.
Why there are 60 seconds in a minute.
As luck had it, the bell rang a minute early, so we got clean plate of that audio, and then I landed the walk and talk exactly at 3 o'clock. That's common knowledge. I guess it's common in the scientific sense of the word. Yeah, it worked out good. Let's see. Go on, transcribe. Oh no, that's great. That's the point. True Manfu is what we want. Part of the magic trick on that is we want it to start with it's like, oh, a thing is happening, and it's just noise until it clicks. And then you're like, oh, wait, a cool thing is happening. And it's like, yeah, that's what I want. That's that moment I want you to experience. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. I guess this is just going to take its time running. And we got Justin incoming. Let me use the Find My Co-Host app. Yeah, here we go. Justin's like 5 minutes out. So I'm going to wrap it up now. I will catch you guys later on. There's no drones. There's no drones. All right, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Goodbye, you beautiful people. No, that's not what I want you to experience. I want you to experience the satisfying click of when you figure out what the hands are doing. Of course. All right, bye, gang.